key on the remote itself, and you'll see this pop up toward the bottom. So this gives me additional controls which I can navigate through. So when it comes to search, if you hit the search key, this will bring up an on-screen interface. So we have this on-screen keyboard, or you can use voice. Now if you want to bring up voice search directly, just tap and hold the voice button. What's the weather like tomorrow? So this will also bring up a widget that shows me the weather conditions without interrupting what I'm watching in the background. Another way of finding content and apps is the LG Content Store. So this will launch into an interface that allows us to browse through videos such as movies and TVs, as well as apps and games. So if we go to TV shows, you can see all the TV shows that are currently available with a priority on what's most popular. Of course, you can also just search for whatever you want. So if I click Mr. Robot, this allows me to select a season or an episode, or I can click Watch Now, and you can see the services that currently push it. This is also true of the movie interface up here. So if I click Close and go up to Movies, same story here. If I click a movie I want to watch, like Batman vs. Superman, you can see I can watch now or watch the trailer, and you can see the apps that currently have it available. So if I want to jump to Google Play, this will launch into the Google Play Movies app, and I can go ahead and purchase it or rent it. We also have apps and games, so you can install a variety of apps or just search for them. So you can see some popular apps like Plex, so we definitely want to click that. So if you're a Plex fan, that is available on this TV. Click Install, and this will allow you to install the Plex player. You can see the notification in the upper right corner. We can go ahead and launch right into it. Now, not all apps are necessarily media apps. So for example, I have this Google Maps app which allows me to navigate through a map, and I can zoom in using my cursor and scroll wheel. Now there are a ton of other apps here, such as a web browser with tab browsing. So this allows you to input a full website and browse it right on your TV using the on-screen cursor and remote. So for example, I can go up here, clear all, and input the URL using voice. CNN.com. So there we go. Now this definitely isn't the fastest web browser out there, and you can see, of course, it doesn't support Flash, but it does get the job done when you need it on your screen. So when it comes to all settings, there's a lot going on here. So we can go to picture mode on the left, and you'll see that we have the option to calibrate the different modes we have available to us. So you can go and select them up here. We have vivid, standard, and etc. So if you want to calibrate each individual mode, you can do so right here. So we can change the OLED brightness, contrast, overall brightness and sharpness, color, and tint. You can also change the color temperature. So if you select it, you can see we can change the color temperature and customize it to what we want. You can also scan through the other options here by changing OLED brightness and contrast without having to jump back and forth. We also have advanced controls, and there's some interesting things in here like dynamic contrast. So we can change our contrast from low, medium to high, and it does make a big difference here. So if you look at the image, you can see it changes as I select them. It's low by default in this mode, but I can go ahead and select medium, which I think is just about right. We can also change the dynamic color. So if we select dynamic color, you'll see this also change while we're watching our content. Super resolution actually increases the sharpness of video. So if you want that extra crisp, extra detail in your video, you can apply this to help out. Now for me, one of the most important settings is actually buried right here, which is true motion. So personally, I don't like that smoothing effect that a lot of TVs apply automatically, and this is where you can turn it off. So you can turn off true motion, or if you like that smoother look, you can certainly go for it. So we have smooth or clear, and then you can user specify this. So you can adjust the de-judder or the de-blur. So you can adjust these manually if you prefer. So I'm just going to leave this off for now. We also have our energy saving modes, and we have quite a few of them. You can select auto, which will use the ambient light sensor, or you can kick this in to maximum, which will dim the display considerably. Another neat feature here is eye comfort mode. So this will automatically adjust the color of the TV to reduce eye strain. So if the TV is bothering you, especially at night, you can enable this, and the display will get considerably warmer and not quite as bright. So when it comes to sound, we have a lot of tuning options, and of course we can also select our outputs. But we have something called Magic Sound Tuning, which will actually calibrate the speakers on the TV to the acoustics of your room. So this is kind of a nice feature to have. So if you want to start this, all you have to do is select Start, and this will run through the calibration setup. So once it's calibrated the audio, you can see what Magic Sound turned off and turned on sounds like, and it definitely makes a big improvement. Under General, we'll find tons of features for language, location, date and time, and timers. We also have Quick Start Plus. So if you want the TV to stay on standby so it starts up quicker, you can turn this on, but it does or may draw more power. We also have our standby light. So that's the red LED light that appears just below the LG logo when the TV is powered off. We also have a power saving mode for your external hard disk drive. So if you connect a hard disk drive to your TV for accessing media, you can actually set it to turn that disk off when it's not being used. Now, Channel Plus is the live IP streaming TV service. So if you don't want this on, you can turn it off, but if you want those features, this is where you go to turn it on. Now, I think the most important setting to know about here is Simple Link or HDMI CEC. So this allows the TV to control HDMI connected devices. So that, of course, depends on whether that device supports the feature or not. So this allows the TV to turn on that device or put it to sleep. It also enables the TV to control those devices with the same remote. Now, another very important setting is right here. This is HDMI Ultra HD Deep Color. So this will enable HDR on certain inputs. So we have it available on all 4 inputs, but you have to turn it on. Now, if you turn on HDR for inputs that don't support it or for devices that don't support it, it won't work properly. So if you have issues, you want to go here to make sure that these are set correctly. So for example, I just have 2 of them. I have my Xbox One S, which supports HDR, and a Blu-ray player, which also supports HDR. And I can turn this off and on. And when you turn it on or off, it does restart the TV to make the configuration.
So in the end, I think LG has pulled way ahead of its competition with the best display technology, a fantastic design, excellent web OS interface, which makes it easy to manage all the devices connected to your TV, and we have great audio built right into the TV set. And the display technology has improved quite a bit since the last generation. It's much brighter, HDR looks fantastic on this, and really it's an unrivaled experience, and I definitely enjoyed it, especially as a movie buff. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this look at LG's B6 65-inch TV. If you did, please give it a thumbs up to let me know, and I'll see you again in the next one.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Carl here, back with another episode. This one is slightly different, and by slightly, I mean a lot. Trust me, we're checking out the other side of the studio, this wall.
Hey guys, Disco Magic here, and something very strange and unexpected happened. I don't really know the full story, because I don't give enough of a crap to just Google it. If you do, more power to you. But basically, at some sort of event or trade show or conference or something somewhere, somebody set up a full display of dummy products from Amanket. I believe they're called like promotional display items. So let me just throw up one for an example. So these are the Planeswalker decks, but not really. These are just mocked up. They could be full of like sand or like the wrong boosters or nothing, air, I don't know. Then nobody would walk up and steal them, for example. So the front cards are quite literally blank. I mean, they were printed without the text, which you think would be kind of hard to do and not worth the time, but I disagree. I think it is worth the time to do that. You know, so nobody walks up and steals it. Plus, they're not ready to reveal the card.
Prepare for warhead deployment. Update. Warheads have been deployed.
Hi, I'm Marcus Brown. And I'm Marcus. Welcome to another edition of Petra Forward. Hey Marcus, we've talked a lot this year about consumers looking to cut the cord on their high-end cable bills. Savvy customers are using incentives to fill their life. But they also
No doubt, Patrick. That's why I'm so excited about one of our featured products this week, the 55-inch 4K Ultra HD TV with Roku streaming stick from ProScan. Petra part number 265265. Combines a high-quality television with one of the top streaming players on the market.
Roku has been on a roll, doubling its sales of streaming devices between 2013 and 2014. While most of their competitors have a wide product offering, Roku focuses exclusively on streaming devices. That laser focus has led to a variety of innovations, particularly in the area of search. Roku's powerful search allows users to find and access content across all apps without pushing the content of any particular application.
And with 2,000 channels in the US, Roku has access to more than 250,000 movies and TV episodes that are accessible with the included remote.
And all that content will look amazing on that 55-inch 4K Ultra HD. It features an astounding 2840 by 2160 resolution and a 16 by 9 aspect ratio.
It also features a 4 millisecond response time, so it's ideal for gaming. With the full array of inputs and outputs, it will easily handle the Roku stick and consumers' other favorite devices. So head over to Petra.com to find out more about this great, amazing bundle.
And be sure to let us know what you think about it by sending an email to feedback@petra.com. For the very latest, don't forget to follow us on social media sites such as Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. For Marcus Brown, I'm Patrick Billings. See you next
Hey, so I just got this new Secchi 50-inch 4K TV. It's pretty awesome. It was $450, and to put that in perspective, the next cheapest TV that's around this size is something like $1,600, and
Warhead deployment in
they
process.
range around that from $1,600 to $2,300. So for $450 at a 4K TV, it's outrageous. So a lot of people were complaining that the picture quality is not so good, and that's right. It's pretty terrible coming right out of the box, but there's a lot of things that you can adjust in the firmware and in the graphics card settings on your computer to fix that. And even if you're coming out of a Blu-ray player, most people have said that works out well, although I haven't tried that yet. So what I've got now is the big editing computer that I have. So there's some pretty powerful graphics cards in there. So I've got my editing computer hooked up to the 4K display right now. And just to give you a point of reference on how much resolution this is, this little window in the corner here is actually a full 1080p window. It's a remote session that I've piped in here from my other desktop. And there's no scaling on this. This is the maximum resolution. And you're seeing every pixel from that 1080p screen, just in roughly a fourth of the entire monitor. Lots of detail in here. It's pretty crazy. Again, this monitor is $450. Now 4K content's still pretty hard to find because it's so new, but fortunately, thanks to the magic of the internet, I was able to find some stuff on BitTorrent. I mean, I hope it looks as good on the video as it does in person.
Moving to the beat.
But you can basically pause this and I can see like all the little windows in here. And if I were this close on an HD television, all I'd be seeing is like a grid of pixels. But I'm basically sitting like a foot away from this, and it's really hard to point out individual pixels on the screen. I don't know, that's something that's pretty amazing. And when you do sit this close, it really feels like an immersive experience. A lot of people are wondering, you know, why do you even need 4K to begin with? It's hard to find stuff that has 4K, but heck, I don't care. I'm having a great time. Do you feel the magic of it? Do you feel the magic of 4K? Look at this Power DVD 1 to lower my display resolution. No, wuss, we're playing Blu-rays in 4K! I don't care if it's upscaled. It's fantastic! That's one monstrous display. Well, in conclusion, I took a bit of a risk buying this display, but it paid off. And if you're in the market for a new TV and want to geek out and look at some 4K footage, then buy this one. It's $450 and it's not much more than you get for the bargain basement price at Walmart for a new TV. So yeah, the Secchi 50-inch LED 4K TV. It's a pretty good deal.
What's up, everybody? This is Danny, and last week I was at the Charlotte Motor Speedway checking out NASCAR for the very first time, and it was a pretty cool experience. But I wasn't initially there for the race. I was there to check out a company called Hisense because they were releasing a brand new 4K TV, and this thing had it all. Of course, it has the 3840 by 2160 4K Ultra HD panel, and this is a 50-inch TV, and it features all of this stuff in a high-end panel, like support for Netflix, Pandora, YouTube. It also features an ultra smooth motion rate and dual band Wi-Fi and HDMI 2.0. When they announced this TV, what blew me away was that this TV set is only $599. So that is insane. They are bringing the budget 4K TV to the masses with the H7 series, so this should be available today, and I'll leave some links in the description section below, or you can go to your local Walmart store and they should be in stock today. I think a lot of people are intimidated by the 4K televisions because they are so expensive, but I think this fixes that without a doubt. So let's see what else comes inside of the box. The first thing you're going to get are the two plastic stands that go on the bottom of the TV if you don't want to wall mount it, and then you get a packet here that is full of stuff. The first thing you're going to see is the 4-year warranty. Yes, you've seen that right. That's a 4-year warranty. We'll get to that in just a little bit. You get the quick start guide. You also get some safety information and warranty stuff. You get a user manual if you need to know how to use this TV. You get the remote, and you also get some batteries for that remote, and also you get the power cord. So standard affair there. There's also a little poster that says don't be that guy to press on the screen and break your TV before you even get to use it. I'm going to install the stands because I'm not going to wall mount it here in my room, but this is very simple. All you need to do is just have a screwdriver and repeat this on both sides. And this panel is actually extremely light, so if you're going to set it up with just one person, it's absolutely no problem. So if you want to wall mount this too, you should be able to do it by yourself. The TV that this is replacing is ridiculously heavy, so I definitely appreciate the light weight of this TV. I know I look really silly here doing the sniff test, but actually it does not smell as bad as when you unwrap most TVs. It's because they've modified the manufacturing process some and got some green certifications to make it a little bit more friendly for the environment, so that's kudos to them. For a TV in this price range, the design is fairly simple, but it's definitely effective. The bezels are pretty thin on the sides as well, so it's quite attractive, but I would like to see maybe the glossy plastic turn into a more matte finish plastic so it can be a little bit classier on that side, but I don't have many complaints about the design at all. So you're going to get a very simplistic design with that Hisense logo on the bottom. So let's take a look at all of the ports that come with this TV. On the back, you're going to find plenty of ports. You have your Ethernet port, you have two HDMI ports on the back that support HDMI 2.0, so you should be able to plug in all of your new 4K peripherals too, and then you also have your digital audio out, you have your AV in, and you also have your component in if you still use that. On the side, you're going to see your antenna and cable. You also have two USB 2 ports, you have service, and you have an audio in and out. You also have two more HDMI that supports MHL and ARC, and then you'll see a USB 3 there, which is very nice in this class of TV. On the bottom corner, you're going to find some button controls, and they look kind of like the old school iPod click wheel thing. But anyway, there is two speakers on the back, and they actually sound much better than I thought they would. That was my huge complaint about the Vizio P series, is that the speakers were terrible, but these actually sound great. So let's go ahead and turn this panel on and see what the setup process is like. The first thing you're greeted with is the logo, then you see the Smart TV designation because you don't have to have a set-top box to enjoy Netflix or Amazon. You just go ahead and accept the terms. Now what's cool about this TV usage mode is that on home mode, you're gonna see it dim to the adjustment of the ambient light in the room because there's an ambient light sensor built in to the left hand corner. So I thought that was neat for this class of TV. So you do have Ethernet available as well, but I'm gonna hook it up to the dual band Wi-Fi, just a lot more convenient for me, and probably a lot of others as well. All you have to do is just pick your TV input source and then you're ready to go. So the setup process is pretty easy. But one of the big things that I want to stress here is this 4-year warranty. I've never seen a TV manufacturer give this much warranty. It comes with a 2-year warranty, but then they're going to extend it to 4 years. And from what they told me is that this is just a no holds barred 4-year warranty, so they will fix your TV if anything goes wrong with it within the 4 years. So that is definitely a go. The user interface is extremely simple. You can jump from your live TV to your other inputs right there. Then they have what you call video on demand. This is your Netflix, your YouTube, your Daily Motion, Vudu, and all of that other stuff right here. And then if you have your external hard drives, you can plug that in to get to your media right here. And then you also have a bunch of other apps, like your social apps. You have a little game center there. You also have the weather, even a TV browser, which I'll show you later on. But you have a choice of a bunch of different other apps as well. There's no real app store, but there is a list of all apps that you can use. Well, there is an Opera app store, which is web-based, and they do have some games like this, but they're very simplistic. But we're gonna go over real gaming in just a little bit here. All of your setup and menu is there on the left-hand side, kind of superimposes whatever you're watching at the time, so you can change your picture, your audio, and all that stuff on the fly. So I had no problems with the menu system at all. And then when you go into the picture settings, this is very typical of whatever TV that you're watching. It has aspect ratio changes, contrast, color, and going to the advanced picture settings, you will see the ultra smooth motion. So when you put that on high, it goes all the way up to 480 hertz. But natively, if you turn that off, it's 120 hertz, which should be plenty for gaming, and I'll show you some demos of that later on. But you do have some noise reduction, adaptive contrast. You can change your color temperature right there on the fly with some white balance changes, and the color tuner, a lot of people will probably be interested in that. So I'm gonna be playing around with this and see if I can calibrate it some, and I'll let you know later on in an update video on what maybe the best settings that I found for this panel is. For parents, yes, there are parental controls. You have CEC and the MHL controls there, which are nice for other peripherals like the Chromecast. So in the end, I know you probably don't care about any of that. You just want to know, what does this panel actually look like? And to be honest with you, I am absolutely blown away because I was not expecting much from this panel at all. And the contrast and the colors and the brightness of this panel, I'm really impressed with, because without any kind of color calibration at all, I'm seeing the colors looking very nice on here, nice and punchy, and 4K on Netflix here is looking absolutely phenomenal. So to be honest with you, this panel I think looks better than my Vizio P series, which is way more expensive, at least $300 or $400 more in this class. So I'm very impressed with this panel overall. One of the coolest things about this TV is that if you look at the remote, you'll find Netflix, Amazon, Vudu, and YouTube buttons built right in. And if you're watching live TV especially and want to jump to one of these like Vudu, it will switch there right on the fly. But if you hit the Netflix button, it'll take you